Jelmer here. In this video I'm gonna make a foldable workbench based on a design that I found online. I'm gonna make an adjustment so I can use it as a guide for my circle saw. So this here is the design I found online, and I like it because it's completely foldable. Now what I want to add to it is a guide for my circle saw, and this is what I came up with. So to the side here I'm gonna add two pieces of 2x4. So one piece that's gonna be on its thin side and another piece just like regularly how you would use a 2x4. It's gonna stick out, so the blue line is the second piece and this is gonna stick out to support pieces of wood that I'm gonna cut to size. So for example 2x4, 2x6, 2x8. That sort of wood, because that's cheaply available here, and I really like to make things of resources that are available locally. Now, and to the other side you can see my sketch for the table top. So I bought some rulers online, and the reason for buying specifically these is that it has like this part here that can slide. So my idea is to drill two holes in it, so a hole here and a hole here, and by doing that I hope I can attach it to the tabletop, so I can use this to accurately measure where I want to place the circle saw guide that you see here. So what you see here, these are the two rulers. The piece that's sticking out is here, so that's this piece. So it's gonna be positioned like so, so to speak. Now let me put it here. So one on each side, and the idea is that the 0 position is right here, and then I can adjust the position of the circle saw guide, which in turn determines where the circle saw will cut the wood. Now, as always, I like to figure things out along the way, so I have like the basic design, the basic idea in mind, but I'm gonna make it accordingly to how I think it's gonna work out just fine while I build it. And the big goal here is to work with more precision, because that's really something that was bugging me over the last video, so that's why I want to make this workbench so I can really up my game, so to speak. Now, one other thing that you may have noticed is that my upload frequency has dropped quite a bit since last year summer. The reason was mostly that I was pushing myself too hard to produce a video every week, and I just felt like my joy was slowly getting out of it. So that's why I decided to tune it down to a video every other week. But I plan to up my game, so there are gonna be less videos, but hopefully the content is going to be more engaging. If you want to know more about that, you can check my personal blog. I have a link in the description below. So I will start by some regular old 2x4, so that's going to be my building material for the base, and I think I'm gonna do the height at about 90 centimeters, and I was looking at different objects to determine the perfect height. So I have my old a workmate, which I find just a bit too low. I have an old washing machine, which I think is the perfect height for building things, and I have the cabinet that I use to store my tools on. The cabinet, it's good as a standing desk, I would say. I like the height for that, but it's just a bit too high to do like serious woodwork, so that's why I opted for the height of the old washing machine, which is about 90 centimeters. So that's the height I'm gonna shoot for in this video. So right now I'm gonna double check and triple check the design, because I need to have it in my mind in order to really make it. It needs to be top of mind. Let's see. So my first adjustment is that of the 2x4s. Like I think that like half of the 2x4, so like half of the width is gonna be strong enough for what I have in mind. So I'm gonna slice it in half, but before doing that I'm gonna mark 2 times 90 centimeters, because that's gonna be the height of the whole foldable workbench. While I'm thinking about it, it's gonna have still a 2x4 on top, so that's gonna be 9 centimeters. So yeah, I'll mark it for 81, so 2 times 81, so 81 and 160. Now I also know that I want some corner pieces to work as braces, so I'm gonna literally use the carpenter square as the shape, because I think that's gonna be the right size. So I'll just put it on here, and then I can go these as well. So here's what I did just now. I made a second marking. This is 162 centimeters. So I have 4 legs of each 81 centimeters wide. I'm gonna cut it off in the middle. So I'm not gonna mark it in, because I'm gonna use the circle saw for that. Now, I think the carpenter square would be actually good as a corner piece, so that's why I used it as actually as the shape to cut out the leftover pieces of 2x4 that I'm going to use for that. And now you can see that I could fit exactly 4 in this leftover piece of wood, and I like to work like that, because then you know, not much wood will be wasted at the end, so I make use of everything. And also this piece of wood is still pretty decent, so that's why I want to make use of that as well. So this wood is exactly 9 centimeters wide, so I'm gonna cut it at 4.5 centimeters. The blade of the circle saw is at the incision, so if I measure from here to the mark here, that's 4.5 centimeters. So that's why I can use that mark as a guide while I cut it. And you know, this is like the last time that I'm just gonna wing it, because after this, when the foldable workbench is finished, I can do it with way more precision. Cut this off using my signature move. this part here, I'm just gonna freestyle it. So all 4 pieces seem to be the same length, so that's really important because then the table will come out stable. So next up I'll cut the pieces that will go across here, so the pieces that will connect the legs. And that's gonna be 60 centimeters. Most of the reason being that I want the foldable workbench to be 4 feet long, so that's 120, so 60 centimeters is half of it. Double checking the length. .247, so usable 240. Okay, so one length like this would be enough for the support of the table, so okay, that's pretty quickly. But actually I only need 1/2 because the other half is just going to be freestanding. So I could take everything I need from just this one piece of wood, so that's really good. Wow. Rain, real rain. So I'm just trying to figure out what will be the strongest connection. I think this might be it. Ideally I would have some of those metal bracket things, because you just slap it on and put some screws in it and it's gonna be mighty strong. I don't have those, I can't buy them here, so yeah, to order it from online it literally takes like a month, so I find it too much time, and I think this actually might do the trick as well. It's just a matter of figuring out if I have drills that are long enough to drill the 2x4, but I'll just have to see and find out. So I'll make this marking on all 4 pieces one time. So I'll start by drilling like so, and then I'll just turn it towards this way. So I'll very superficially start here. So like this, and then I don't push it down, I just turn it up. And then I check from all sides to make sure that it goes straight down. It's not coming through, okay. Oh boy. Okay. I'll do the other ones one time. So I'll put this to the side. This side is much easier because it can just go straight down, plus it's way thinner. Okay, I'm switching to the smaller size for the other screw. Now the smaller size hole for these. So same strategy. But I really think that there should be a screw right about here. So what I'm gonna attempt is to drill from this side and then to drill from that side. But it depends on a very precise marking, so I'm going to do my best. I can use this pocket ruler actually for this. So this is the marking here. So I'm going to make the same marking on this side here. And also on the other sides. So over here. And over here. Okay. I never attempted this, so if it works, then I'm also a little bit surprised. It felt like, and I see light, okay. So this kind of works. I'm a little bit surprised. Okay. That's interesting. Now I'm gonna make a bigger hole halfway into the wood because the bit that I need to use to drive in the screw is quite a bit bigger than the hole. And also, once the foldable workbench is finished, I'll be using the circle saw around here, so I really don't want anything sticking out here. So if it's like halfway in the wood, that would be really good. So I'm a little bit out of my depth here. I wanted to be at a 90-degree angle, so I'm trying to position it in such a way that it kind of feels like it, and I'm going to use my carpenter square to keep it in place. And hopefully this is going to work, but I also think that, wait a minute, I need to drill this wood as well, because the blue screw is going to go in quite a bit, so if I don't drill it, it's just going to split. So I'm one step ahead of myself. This is the screw and this is the drill I chose. It's slightly thinner than the thickness of the metal without the thread, if that makes sense. I really don't want the wood to split, but I also want the screw to be in nice and firm, so I hope this is the right middle ground size. Okay, it seems to be about 90 degrees. I think it's a good strategy. It feels really firm, and then with the corner piece it really will not go anywhere. So I'll repeat it on this side. Yeah, looking at it from a certain angle, I can see that this wood is not completely straight, just like a lot of pieces here. And I only see it now that I've made something of it, but yeah, on the other hand, it's not too bad. It's still doable, I think. So I'm gonna make the other piece exactly like this one. So next up, I'll attach the hinges to the end of the piece of 4 feet. I'm just gonna mark where the hinges need to go on the legs. Well, a moment of truth to see if they actually fold close. Almost. I was afraid of this. But actually, well, it's a tight fit, but now you can really see the legs. This wood is so bent, oh boy. It's the same thing the whole time. But also in the middle it seems to be a little bit taller, so... Nou ja. I'll fix this the next time around, but for now, this is how far I reached, so it can fall out, and well, it's not yet firm, but I'll work on this the next time. Alright, so it has been a couple of days, and that was good because I needed some time to think about the design, because I slightly went different from the design that I saw online, and it made the whole structure a little bit flimsy. So let me show you what I mean. So yeah, where I went different is for the thickness of the legs. So the legs here, this is a 2x2. And this is the result, so it's not exactly sturdy, so I need to figure out a way to make it sturdy. Now, what I came up with is the following. So I found another pack of hinges, and this is what I will use to make a piece of wood that will go in the corner here, and this is gonna have the same function as this piece of wood here, and I think that's gonna solve the sturdiness problem. I was just looking around at my wood pile, and I found this leftover piece here. So what I'm planning to do is I'll plan to cut off this piece here, and then cut it off at an angle so it can go like this against the wood of the leg. So that's the basic idea. I'm just going to use this old piece of wood. I mean, it's a workbench, it's utilitarian, so I don't mind it looking a little bit rough. I just want it to be extremely strong. Okay, so it's about 45. Cut from this side, because then I can rest the base on the wood right here. I'm gonna add my carpenter square so I can use it as a guide. So I'm just here thinking, like, will I still use this workmate when I got the mobile workbench finished? And at first I thought, like, I'll just use the workbench for everything, but I don't think that's how it will end up to be. Okay. Oh boy, not exactly what I had in mind. Let me show you. It ain't exactly flat, boy. I'm gonna run it one more time. Now, by the looks of it, it's a bit better. But yeah, every time it's like this, like I make this cut using the jigsaw, I think, well, it's just a small cut, but I should just be using the circle saw, because it's gonna come out way cleaner. Anyways, this is good, so I'm gonna see how it fits together. So this is what I had in mind. It goes against the wood here, and I will have the hinge, so it can move freely. So I'll quickly mark the holes, so I can pre-drill them. So I drill the holes both to keep the wood from splitting, but also to get the screw in the exact spot where I want it to go. So I'll just put it in a spot where I want it to go, and then underneath here is where I'm gonna mark where the edge of the hinge is, and this is for reference, so I can just fold it open easily and then know really where it needs to go. So now it looks more like what I had in mind, so I can move it up here, and then the idea is to drill a hole and then have like a bolt that keeps this in place, and it already feels way sturdier than it was initially. And I'm just gonna keep it up a little bit like this, so I don't even need to put a knot on the bolt, because then the downward force will just keep it in place. So I will start with a small drill first, so I get the hole in the right approximate location. Okay, now I'm gonna repeat it with the bigger drill. So this fits snugly, and I don't even need to attach a knot, because the tension here, it just keeps it in place. Okay, it's sturdy, but it could be a little bit sturdier, so I may have to work on that a bit still. But the beginning is here, so I'm gonna put on the top and see how that goes. So I just want to see like how it looks from a distance, and I think this is the approximate place where I want the plywood to end up, because I have a piece of 2x8 here, and I think that's gonna be like the maximum size I'm gonna hold on top of there. And you can see like there's a bit sticking out here still, so I think yeah, this is the size I will go with. Now you can see here that this wood along this side, it's cut off pretty crooked. It's like bendy all the way down. This was done by hand by the construction worker who made the pillars for us. But the other side, the red side, so if you check this side, this one is straight. So this is going to be my reference point. And I need about 50 centimeters in width. So that's what I'm going to measure next, and I will measure it in a couple of places, and then after that I will really do my best to try to cut it off as straight as I can. And this is really important for this foldable workbench to work, because without it, the wood that I will cut on it will not come out straight. So this piece needs to be the straightest piece of all the pieces. So I'm adjusting my plan already, because for the foldable workbench to work, I want a perfectly straight piece of plywood to use as a guide. And if I mark 50 here, this is only like 10 centimeters, and that would be perfect for the guide. But if I do it here, it will not be perfectly straight. So I'm just gonna instead mark at 10 centimeters on this side and do that all the way down. The most important piece to be straight is the guide with the red side here. So I'm gonna cut it by hand, doing my absolute best to cut a straight line. And yeah, but this red one, this is what is important. This is so hard to do by hand with the circle side. Nah. But I have a feeling that this workbench will make a big difference, so that's what I'm doing. So now I can start cutting it off to the right length. I want 10 centimeters to the side here. So I'm just gonna mark that. So this is 22.6. I'm just gonna mark 22.6 on this side here. Sorry, 29.6. I want is for the top of the workbench to be exactly at the same level as the thickness of the 2x4. And what I just did is I added a second piece of plywood on top, and you can see that it's almost there, almost. It's like about 2 to 3 millimeters lower than the thickness of the 2x4. So I need to fix for that, and I'm gonna do that as follows. So the width of the foldable workbench is 60 centimeters. So I'm gonna mark 60 centimeters first. And this is just an old piece of 2x4 that I have laying around. And what I will do is this. So right now you can see that this is the plywood that right now you can see this is the plywood that I will use on the workbench, and this is the additional piece of 2x4, and I'm gonna mark it right here with the idea that the if this piece comes underneath, then the level of the workbench will be exactly the same as the thickness of the 2x4. Now, and I will flip it around because I need the same thickness to go on the other side of the workbench. Alright, so I'll cut off these lengths on the workbench. So I got two pieces of wood, like this is the thickness that I need to get the surface at the same level as the 2x4. This is an extra piece. I put the extra piece because I think at some point I will start maybe cutting here by accident, and then I just have like an old piece that I can just easily take off. I actually cut it by mistake, so that's why I just like to reutilize it. The same I have on the other side. I'm just gonna add 2 screws here and here and keep it in place, and then I'll continue with the top. I'm also gonna put in some nuts in the bolts because I think it will add some more rigidity still. It's fitting perfectly, like, okay, of course it's wood, so over here it's a bit off, but it's close enough as long as the circle saw can go through flat and there's not like a big gap, it's gonna be fine. I'm impressed and a little bit relieved too. So this is really awesome. And it's, I like the height as well. This is higher than my workmate. So it's better for working, you know. So okay. So I'm gonna cut off some pieces of wood. It can go to the sides here and here, so the wood stays firmly in place. I'm double checking to see whether everything is at 90 degrees. Yeah, from this angle it really looks like it. So I'm just starting with the 2 inside ones, so once I got those in place I think it might become a bit easier. Right, I'm just gonna leave it with one piece here because it feels pretty rigid. I mean, it could be more rigid, of course, but since it's a foldable workbench, yeah, it's gonna have like a little bit of flexibility in it still, but it feels strong enough. So I found these rulers online. It came with a piece like this, and what I want to use it for is as follows. I want to drill like a small hole, maybe two, and then make it so that it can slide in position. And the idea is that the zero position is gonna be where the blade of the circles are. So let me show you that first. So right now the blade is literally against the edge of the work table. This is gonna be the zero position. So the idea is that, oh boy, I realized something. The motor, it's pretty low, and this is thicker than the motor. So the motor is pretty low above the surface, and this is the only thing I didn't check beforehand. So I have like a super straight piece of plywood that I was going to use as a ruler, but it's too thick. Oh boy, so I need to find something else for that. Well, at least I have like a really nice table, but then the rest sort of becomes irrelevant as well. I had not considered this. So both the battery and the motor are sticking out, and that means that this piece here, this is the thickness that I can go with. So if I measure this, and this is gonna be 9 millimeters approximately. So that's extremely thin. So I need to find a guide that is a maximum of 9 millimeters, and then it can fit underneath. But the positive here is that, yeah, probably if I order a piece of metal like that, it's gonna be straight, and that's what I want. I want it to be straight. So this is really unexpected and unplanned. I figured that I thought of everything, but then it turned out I didn't. So this is gonna be another version 1.0, and in the future I will order a thin piece of metal that I can use as a guide and still use this workbench as intended. Yeah. And this is just not the right thickness either. This is also just too thick. Not by much, but yeah. 15 millimeters. Yeah, I need 9.